Hello, Kylie. How are you today?
Great. Is it good afternoon or good evening for you?
I think it's good afternoon. Hello, everyone else who are joining us today on this episode of Bite Size Business Live podcast, the show that helps small business owners get clarity and insight to grow their dream business. I'm Jenni Walke from Elephant Room Consulting, and I have the amazing Kylie Mowbray-Allen from Hello Media joining me today. How is it in sunny or hot where you are, or is it cold?
It is warm, very warm. I've been in the office since 6:30 and the aircon is on.
Oh, wow.
It's very
I'm sitting in Orlando, Florida, where it's currently a sunny 18 degrees, but I'm not in the sun, so it's a little chilly. It's such a contrast to Sunday when we were sitting in 38 degrees at home, and now I'm sitting in 18 degrees here. It's crazy.
so good. So I'm excited about our topic today, Jenny, especially because it revolves really around what you're doing there, what I do on a weekly basis, and what we're both incredibly passionate about and how we met.
Most definitely. And I'm excited because we often talk about in our own worlds the importance of, continuous learning, building your skills, making sure you're up to date with what's happening in your industry, but also about how it helps you build your business. And so I'm here in Orlando on a coaching program that I joined in July. It's a 12-month coaching program, similar to what I do with Empire Builders, but with a group of people in the US. So we're obviously wanting to grow our US market. And I thought I've been doing some research about how we would do that. And I thought, what a better way to learn that properly than to come and join a program that has literally got my target audience in the room. And I can actually understand what their needs are, what they're looking for, and what got them to that program. And then I can use that to actually help grow my footprint and my space in the US market as a coach, because we do slightly different things to this coaching program. So it's a really great, it's a massive investment for us to do here, not only in the program, but also traveling here. But we recognize the value it's going to bring to my own learning and listening and being in a room of 15 other business owners and incredible kind of journeys, but also for the business. So myself and the business get to go through this program. So it's that why, I guess, so the topic today is why would you do and why do you continue to learn and grow your skills in business? And, there's an example of why we would do that.
Yeah, brilliant. So when you're looking to up level, upskill, stay on top of things, or launch something new, it's such a great way to learn from people that have been there before.
Exactly. And it's immersing yourself. Like we often think about, when we want to go and, when we're looking to buy a car or looking to buy anything new, we often do some research and we do that in our personal lives. But so many people don't do that same level of research in their business. When they're looking to build their business, create revenue and grow their customer base, they go, oh, it'll work. I'll do this, that, or the other without actually taking the time to do the research and upskilling your knowledge and immersing yourself into other learning programs is a really great way to understand what your market needs and how you can build your business.
Absolutely. And I love that you're also upskilling in an environment where they are your potential ideal clients. That's fantastic.
Exactly. Yeah, I thought that was the ROI that we when I kind of looked at cost benefit analysis of coming to the States several times a year in the next 12 months, what that means, what the cost is, but what the benefit to the business is going to be phenomenal. And it's already starting to pay off with conversations I've had in the last day actually about recognizing there's about 4 or 5 people in the room that this coaching program isn't going to serve, but that I might be able to serve over the next 12 months. Now, it's my first day. I'm not going to jump in and start selling them today, but it's a recognition of, hey, there are opportunities that we can start engaging with, whether it's understanding, knowledge building, or in fact, business building. But I know, Kylie, you often talk about the importance of continuous knowledge, and you do that every week. So tell us about how you do that.
Well, I at any one time have at least 2 to 3 coaches that I work with because just like you, I'm always wanting to expand my knowledge, get better at what I'm doing, and offer my clients more. So, depending on what my goal at the beginning of the year is, of what my area of upskilling is going to be, then that'll be the coach that I'm seeking or getting recommendations about, and I'll work with them to upskill. So right now I'm working with 2 different ads coaches, one in Australia and the one in Canada that I've been working with for maybe 3 years. So 5 a.m. sometimes of the year, depending on daylight saving, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., it all depends. I jump in every Tuesday into Canada, and that's really fun and amazing. And I troubleshoot stuff that's going on with my ads or clients' ads. And then I've got another coaching program that I'm involved in Australia, but she's half Australia, half American going on. So that's really exciting. And lots of upskilling and learning from people that have been deep diving, solely focused on that. And so they've just got a wealth of knowledge. And what you'll know yourself as a business owner is there's always sticky things that come up that you need to troubleshoot, that you need to work through. Yeah. And different people have got different levels of connection to Meta. So the woman that I work with in Canada is a trainer for Meta. So she's got latest information going on as well. And I also work with an AI coach because that's an area that I'm super, super passionate about, evolving my skills. And then it means I stay fresh and I can keep offering new stuff to my clients all the time. But Jenni, yesterday, I just bought my ticket for Social Media Marketing World in March next year. So that's another example of every year, zip off to the States for that exciting extravaganza in San Diego, which, like you, is not just upskilling, but it's also the connections that you make there are just amazing.
And I think that's something we often forget about when we're looking at upskilling, and whether it's online learning or group coaching or finding ways to build our skills. There are so many ways you can do that other than maybe joining, you don't have to join an online course or do formal study. You can watch YouTube, you can, find networking events, you can find individuals who are the same journey or a similar industry who might be ahead of you on their journey, and you can start to build those relationships. And I think that's really key, and that's what you've done so well with social media marketing over the last couple of years. Is you've got relationships that you've built that you can lean on now because of that. And I can already see that happening with the work here. And what I find, particularly when we're focusing on growing our knowledge and skills, it opens us, particularly as a business owner, up to complete new opportunities and new ways of seeing the way we can grow our business. And I know through the coaching program that we did when we very, very first started, 5 years ago now, maybe 6 years ago now, that conversation was, well, what does our business look like in the future? And if I went back, that time, both of our businesses would look completely different. And I think that's the advantage of if we just stuck in that mindset from 5 years ago, stayed in that one space, following the same person, you get a similar kind of response and you grow on a sort of a similar trajectory. And when you can start to infuse your learning with new people and new experiences and new ideas, that's when you can get really exponential growth in your business at a time when you're ready for it.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And we all know that it costs so much money to find a new client. So, yeah. we'll put out our free webinar, whatever we're doing top of funnel, it's just endless effort, energy, cost, etc., to get out there. So we're attracting those clients to us. Then they sign up to whatever it is that we're offering. And then we've got to keep them going. So, as we know, it's much better to keep someone in our fold and keep offering them new ways to upskill, new things that we can share with them rather than be always looking for new clients. So by us upskilling, that's the perfect way to do it.
Most definitely. And I also think, particularly as if you're in a service industry, if you're providing a service or an exchange service for somebody, they're coming to you as being the expert. And if we're not willing to upskill and pay money for ourselves to be coached, why would a client come to us and be coached by us when we're not willing to grow? So I think it's also about, setting the intention and demonstrating that we believe in the product and service and the methodology we deliver. By them coming to us and learning from us, we're saying we're also by you investing in us as your coach, we're going to continue to invest in our knowledge so we can give that back to you and pay that forward. And I think that's the piece that many coaches forget, is that it's not just about upskilling your knowledge, it's actually signaling to the market that coaching is a value, an important part of your business, and that you need to do it to grow, or that you should do it to grow. And so by us doing it, it's demonstrating that value to the market and the people that we work with. So I love sharing the learnings of programs and great blogs, great connections, great social media. There's so much opportunity that you get out of simply, whether it's an hour a week, whether it's a 2-day immersion, or whether it's a 12-month project or program. Every interaction gives you an opportunity to share that knowledge, which then repositions you as an expert in your industry.
100%. It is showing that we really value and invest in ourselves. And it's so,
Most definitely.
so important. So, Jenni, I guess a really big question for someone would be, and for us as well, how do we decide what is the right amount to be putting back into our business just for the aspect of the upskilling, the networking, the investing in our growth?
It's a really, really good question. And we actually did the numbers for this program specifically, given the cost of the program that I'm on and the fact that we're traveling to the States 6 times a year. And if my husband comes with me, then there's an additional expense. So we looked at all that. And I think when I kind of took a step back and said, well, what's the value of my learning and professional development? I looked at the model of large corporates. And in most cases, a large corporate would say about 10% of the salary of the employee should be spent on upskilling them on an annual basis. So whatever, so if you're an executive and you're on a high salary, 10% of that is for them for coaching or upskilling. And if you're in a mid-level position, then you again still 10%. So it doesn't matter whether you're high or low in the organization, it's always around 10%. So I extrapolated that. No, that's for the individual. What do we want for the organization? So we've gone about for us, excuse me, 10 to 12.5% is the amount we're comfortable paying, probably at a maximum level for all the different types of learning. So if we include in that networking, as you've said, online events, buying that kind of $99 download because you're looking and testing the market, all those things that are helping me build my skill as a coach and as a consultant sits in that bucket of learning and development. So for me, 10 to 12.5, potentially up to 15% for the right program.
Brilliant. So in Xero, I've got a category just called professional development. So exactly what you've said, I've just got to work out what is that percentage that I'm willing for it to be. And I totally agree. It should always be a minimum of 10% every year that you're putting into yourself. So not back into the business as such, although it is, but it's specifically back into the business for yourself and your upskilling.
By you.
Yeah.
So for our team, we've got an Udemy, a business login for Udemy. So our team, anyone in the team can go in and look at the Udemy login, and because we have a business account for that. So it allows them, so if there's a particular thing they want to see as a bite-sized training, they can jump in there and have a look at. There's LinkedIn online. If you're a business and you're wondering, how do I do this? And I don't have 10% yet to spend. There are so many smaller ways. And we started with that. We started with LinkedIn Learning. And then I think we shifted from LinkedIn Learning to the Udemy business profile because there's some great options in there in terms of basic skill profile, as well as YouTube and some other free resources before jumping into kind of formal coaching programs. So it's looking at what your appetite for learning is and having a look at how you're scheduling it and playing it into your workload. And I think that's critical. It's fun. I mean, I've got so many coaching programs and I've got one at the moment, which I really want to be part of, but it's on a Friday morning and I've been traveling most Friday mornings for the last 6 months. So I think I've been to 3 of the webinars. Now they're all available for me to look at online, but it's not the same. I'm not building that community connection. I'm not hearing the stories. But in the new year, we are now rescheduling. So we're going to prioritize Friday mornings for that coaching session to jump back in. And that's about public speaking. Now I love public speaking. I'm happy to do that, but it's honing my skills and helping me kind of build a profile around that rather than just doing it as an ad hoc nature. I'm now at the time I'm like, it'll be a good idea. But what I've reflected on is that I wasn't committed to doing it. I bought the program saying I'll do it, but I didn't make time for it. And so now we've recognized the value. We've recognized that actually we do need to lean into this. It's a value add for the business. So we're now making the time that we really should have made 3 months and 4 months ago. Now I'm sharing that because so many of us do that. So many of us jump into a program and then they don't look at the details. And I remember you sharing that to me a couple of years ago, where you jumped into a program and you didn't realize it was like 2 a.m. in the morning is when the sessions were, that just weren't going to work for you. And you had to kind of rearrange your whole life to try and make sure you got value out of that program. So it's about having the appetite, but also making sure it fits into where you are in your business, where you want to go in your business, and how you're operating your business on a daily basis.
Absolutely. And we often have talked about CEO day and all that kind of thing. Something that you can incorporate into that. Put aside half a day or whatever to your own learning. So if it's that scenario where you've got to watch the recordings, then you've got to schedule it in your calendar because otherwise it's just not going to happen. So it's incredibly important that you get not just buy it or find the right coach you want to work with, and then you sign up to their program or whatever that is. But I'll give you a great example. So Mel, who's in my Shine program, and so she decided that every Thursday, that so she has another business that she works on all the other days of the week, but Thursdays is to work on the business, the new business that she's wanting to grow. And Thursdays happen to be the Shine days. So she can do her upskilling with me and then go away and get stuck into working on her business. And that's a great way to do it. But it's about investing in yourself and investing your time to make it happen.
Yeah, 100%. So if people are thinking about, well, what do I need to do? What types of skills? What types of programs that should I, lean into? We've talked a lot of, there's online platforms, there's programs you can purchase which have bulk training and that bite-sized learning, which are kind of, almost open source learning. But how do you choose what programs you want to do for your business
Ah,
or for you?
I do a lot of that top of funnel watching. So, we always say that up there, that's where your people are just watching you. They're looking at what you're doing. That's where the know bit in that know, like, and trust funnel comes in. So let's say I've met them at Social Media Marketing World, or they've been a presenter perhaps at Social Media Marketing World. So then I'm going to follow them on their socials, and I'm just going to keep following, keep absorbing, learn what I can from what they're putting out for free. Then I might jump into one of their webinars. Then I might book a one-on-one with them, and boof, I'm in the program. Sometimes that can be 3 years of just watching and waiting because I know I want to work with them, but it may not just be the right time just yet. So, and also like you, sometimes I've actually bought into something, but haven't even turned up live for 6 months because it hasn't been quite right yet, but I'm glad I'm in there and I've got the opportunity to go and watch the stuff if I want. But then the time comes and I'm ready to invest my energy and my time into actually turning up. So that's how I do it. I'm watching, I'm looking, I'm listening, and then I go, okay, yes, I want to work with you. It just feels right. It's, back to that client attraction marketing. So it's
Yeah.
rare that I would actually Google it. And like I see, in the Facebook group, like-minded bitches drinking wine. I see a lot of people all the time popping in there and saying, I want to coach for XYZ. Who do you recommend? And then there's like 50 or 500 comments and people just get overwhelmed. And I wonder, do they ever even contact anyone because it's just too much?
Too much.
Yeah. What about you, Jenni? How do you get to that stage?
Mine's a little bit different. I'm a little bit more kind of decisive when it comes. I don't tend to spend that time talking. What I identify as where's the gap in the way I'm operating. What's the gap, the need in the business at the moment? And because I guess I'm so connected into the delivery of my business as the lead consultant and coach, often when I get a block, it blocks the business as well. So as soon as I start to feel like I'm in an uncomfortable position, or I don't really know the answer well, or I'm finding I'm repeating the same mistake a lot, or the same challenge a lot, if you like, the roadblock, I say, okay, well, how do I solve that? And I always look to see, is there a program? I look for information first. I'll try and solve the challenge first. But if I can't, I go, actually, now is time I need a coach. Now is the time that it's actually worth me jumping into a program. And so then I actually identify a program that's going to solve a challenge that I'm having right now. And that, again, that's that lesson of, the speaker training program, which I did when I didn't really think I needed it, but I wanted to be part of it. Whereas now I'm like, hang on, this is an opportunity to grow into the business. I want to get more engagement in that area. So now I want to have that structure. So I think for me, it's aligning what training I'm going to do with the need, both personally and for the business. And then I do that kind of engagement. It's always going to be somebody I know or have seen before. I'm like you, I probably won't necessarily Google something, but I'll look to colleagues, or I might ask for referrals. But it won't be the Facebook referral. It'll be, hey, Kylie, do you know someone who might do this area or this piece of work? Or it'll be showing up to a webinar and saying, actually, I feel like I'd resonate with that person. Now, this is the coaching program for me. So mine's more needs-based. And then I connect it with the need for the business now. And I do that because we're all time poor and I want something that's going to add value right now.
But I love that you've said it's someone that you resonate with. So that's
Yeah.
thing, and that's where I've made a mistake in the past and invested an exorbitant amount of money in a coaching, which, like you said, was the 2 a.m. one. But also, I didn't resonate with her very much. But I knew would be an awesome person to learn from, and I've admired what she does, but it wasn't the right fit for me. So it comes back down to know, like, and trust, doesn't it? We're not going to really invest our time and effort in someone that we actually don't like the process of learning from.
No, And you and I have had that before in programs that we've been together on, that we've always had that kind of ick feeling about the way things have been delivered. So yeah, that ick feeling. And, once you get the ick, it's hard to go back, right? So I think for people who are listening in and understanding, how do I grow my learning and development? How do I continue my skills upskilling? It's about, I guess, whether it's about a need for the business or your own personal need, or you're looking to the future about what you want to move into, identify courses or skills that you might want to look at and start doing that, whether it's, going through that top of funnel model where you start to identify people who might be able to support you, looking at some of the free resources, find some of those kind of open source information that's going to help you build your understanding about what you need. And then once you've decided that, then actually really commit to doing that program before you jump in. And if you do jump in and spend the money up front, cool, but make sure you then prioritize it as part of your program. But remember, it's not just for you, it's also for your team. It's understanding what they want to do. I know the last couple of weeks I've been traveling so much with work, which has been phenomenal. Our final session for the year with the team next week or the week after is actually sitting down and saying, okay, let's actually plan out, what does next year look like? What are our gaps in our training? Where do we want to actually go? So I can get an understanding of how I can support them next year. And what skills do they want to grow with? Is the training modules that we've, the online systems that we purchased, is that working for them? Do we need to think of something else? So remember, it's not just you who needs to upskill, not just you that you need to support. You need to look at how you're also supporting your team and making sure they have the resources they need to continue to grow the business as a whole, not just individually.
And unless they know where you're wanting to head and you're having those meetings and discussing what the business looks like and, all the
They're
ideas.
not going to know.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Jenni, you have the
Awesome.
best time in Florida. All of everything that you need to get through the next few days and absorb it all. It's very, very exciting. So, have a brilliant time.
Thank you. And I'm looking forward to being back in Australia. As much as it's amazing, it will be nice. We've been traveling for 6 weeks, I think, almost every week since the wedding at the end of August. So we're looking forward to having, coming back and settling in and doing that planning for next year. So maybe next time we catch up, we might talk about what we're doing to prepare our planning and prepare our business for 2025, because essentially we're already in 2025. We're substantively starting to think about what's happening in January. So let's maybe talk about that next time, about what are the activities and plans that you're making for your business in 2025. Or if you're listening to this next year, what you're doing for the coming year and how you're preparing yourself ready for that year to come.
Absolutely love it.
Well, Kylie, amazing to see you again. Everybody, thank you for tuning into this episode of Bite Size Business Life Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and follow us so you don't miss any future episodes. We look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks so much for joining us. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.